Hi, everybody, and welcome to I Like Cruise Ships, the YouTube channel, and welcome to a new video. And how are you all going? I hope everyone's doing well. Give us a thumbs up if you're here. I'm not sure how the quality of the stream is. I've just realized my glasses are really reflecting. I've just cleaned them and they're kind of reflecting really badly in the screen. So please let me know in the comments if the volume and the quality of the picture is good. And we'll kind of chat away for a little while. If we get lots of comments, we'll answer all the comments. If we get some questions, of course, as well, that'll be really cool. Let us know how you are, where you live, how things are going. Are you still in lockdown? Are you still at home? Maybe you're watching on your phone on the bus. Let's see where you are. So if you aren't sure who I am, my name is Russell, and I'm the creator of the YouTube channel I Like Cruise Ships. If you are a subscriber, I'm sure you're aware of a lot of the videos that I've made previously, and maybe you like them, maybe you don't like them, maybe you enjoy watching them, find them very informative. I'm not sure. We've got 7 people in the chat. Thanks, everybody. And we'll chat away if we can. Now, it is a little bit early in the morning here. I decided to do this a little bit earlier than I would normally do here in Australia. That's why I'm using a bit of a light in the room, and I haven't properly set up how I'm going to do live streams going forward. I'm going to do them more often, and I'll get to the kind of the exciting part about the whole part of the title of the live stream. Okay, so yeah, so let's see how everybody's going. Of course, I live in Perth, Australia. If you don't know where I live or where I'm from. I do work on cruise ships. Of course, right now there's no ships sailing with guests and doing what they call revenue cruises. When guests are on board the ship, they're called revenue cruises. So if you're not aware about that. And then basically when they're empty, they're empty. So as you may be aware about the cruise industry right now, all the ships are pretty much in a pause or I'm not sure what they are, the pauses, cruise pauses, temporary suspension of voyages. They're using different words. So at the moment, I was on a ship up until, actually, it was exactly 4 weeks ago tomorrow. Today's Friday now here in Australia. And I arrived home on Saturday 4 weeks ago. So when I did actually arrive home here in Australia, there's a mandatory 14-day self-isolation when I arrived. Pretty much that night or at midnight of the day I arrived, they implemented a forced lockdown where you're taken to hotels and you're made to be in a hotel for 2 weeks. And they're still doing that now for anybody that's arriving internationally or domestically from a flight from another state within Australia. So yeah, we got 2 people here who's mentioned comments. There is a few more people in the chat. So I wasn't expecting lots of people. Again, as of the next few days from now, I'm going to change a little bit when I do the streams and the timings to try to suit everybody. Of course, it's very difficult. Hi, Pamela. Pleasant surprise, yes. Again, I didn't give a little bit of warning. I know I can actually do a schedule and post a time of when the stream can start. And I know a lot of people do that every Wednesday night or every Tuesday afternoon. They do live streams, and I do mine just 5 minutes before or 3 minutes before. I just actually set this light up as well, so it's not perfect. A lot of people do have better setups for live streaming. I'm sure if you watched other people. If anyone can let me know how the volume's coming across, if it's nice and clear. If you guys are at home and doing Zoom calls or Teams or anything like that with work, I know actually when I've watched a couple of different TV shows here, it's crazy how people, like all these TV stars and personalities and all sorts of people are doing like video calling into TV shows and things like that. And they've got like this horrible kind of microphone or webcam that they're doing, and they could afford 12 webcams. So Pamela and John says loud and clear, so good picture and good sound. That's perfect. Yeah, because it's early in the morning now, I'll be very honest with you, it's 3:49 a.m. Okay, so that's why if you look behind for the kitchen and the hallway here, it's very dark and there's no natural light. So if you do watch other people's streams, you'll know that they can use a lot of these light boxes coming in, and it doesn't matter if it's day or night when people are actually in the stream. You would have no idea when they're making the recording, or if they're doing pre-recorded videos rather than a live like we're doing here. So it's interesting, huh? All right, so I'll just say some hellos there. Pamela, how are we going? Lokesh, John Nash, and Becky Gross, or Gross. You go by Gross or Gross, I wonder. How's everybody going? I hope you all are having a good day. If you are in America, I'm pretty sure that you're in the afternoon time, because I just checked what time it was. I always check the Florida time or the Texas time. I know a lot of the people that I do the live streams for are US based. Cruise Hive's here. How are we going, Cruise Hive? If anybody doesn't know, I'll give a bit of a shout out to Cruise Hive. If you do follow news or cruise industry news, you can go to cruisehive.com. It's a bit of a free plug for Cruise Hive. And you can check out some of the news. And there's a lot of posts on there about port of calls and what to do in a port, hotels and things like that, and what to do in the Caribbean islands if you're getting off in the ports. So yeah, shout out to Cruise Hive. How's it going? We do need to collaborate somehow at some point. So if you can get a chance, free shout out to you. So Becky says, can't wait for our cruise in November 2021. It's our wedding honeymoon cruise. So yeah, I say, so 2020, so you're putting it, did you book it for 2021? I guess you're probably getting married at around the same time as your honeymoon. So yeah, that's pretty much safe, I think, that if you're doing it for more than a year, so it's a year and 7 months, because my birthday is in November, by the way, so happy birthday to me. But it's November 3rd. So Becky says, oh, hi, Pam. Yeah, 250 in Florida Panhandle. John says 250. Jay Kirk N, 250 in Nebraska. We got Nebraska in the house, Florida, Indiana, Ontario, Canada. Rob Nutherford, how's it going? Indiana, Michigan. Pamela's in Michigan. I should remember everybody, because I know you guys are frequently in the same streams, but I don't always remember. Thanks. Yeah, no worries, Chris Hive. I'm going to call you Chris Hive, if that's okay. Thanks, Chris Hive. So basically, just to talk about doing a collaboration, if anybody wants to, now we can't do it on this YouTube collaboration because I'm going live straight through to YouTube. But if anyone's heard of StreamYard, maybe look it up, StreamYard.com. It's a streaming software that's not a program that you download. It's basically web-based. So you can actually live stream from StreamYard to Facebook to YouTube. And basically, if, for instance, somebody else who's in the chat with us here wants to, not today, wants to log into it while I'm logged into it and doing the live stream, I can send a link while we're doing the chat right here. And we can go 2 screens side by side or 4 screens, and we can actually chat in the same live stream. How does that sound? Would anybody want to do that, I wonder? Maybe you can let me know, and we can happily do a cruise chat. So Becky says that she's getting married on the cruise in November next year. Wow, that's pretty cool. I know working on the ships, I see them, especially on embarkation day. A lot of the weddings either happen on embarkation day, on the day of the ship's in port, and family can come on, you can have the ceremony. And then some people, yeah, I think you can bring 20 or 30 on Carnival, I'm not sure what it is, guests, who are basically can get on and off in the port, in the home port. And then some people obviously book a cruise and stay on with the wedding couple. Or you can get married in the islands. I know a lot of people get married in Grand Cayman, I guess Mexico, Jamaica. So yeah, Oklahoma City, 5th of September on horizon, want to go sooner. Yeah, John, everybody wants to go sooner. You know, the thing is, right, so there's obviously if you look at a lot of the cruise groups, if anybody's in cruise groups, there's a lot of people asking about when's my refund coming, when am I going to get my money back, when am I getting my, I don't know, cruise credits. And then there's an opposite. There's a lot of people who are basically just missing cruising, missing being on a ship, missing, eating the food on the ship or getting off in the ports. And it's, I guess, this whole thing that's happening around the whole world, when things are taken away from you, whether it's a cruise, whether it's able to go to a restaurant, the movies. In Perth, where we are here, we're not in lockdown, but the kids can't play in the playgrounds, for instance. And people want to do it more when you can't do something, right? Isn't that, I think that's kind of true, that when you don't have it, you really want it more. So I think when cruising starts again, I think people are just going to embrace it more. There's going to be more people that are just, I'm going to say, not as, are going to be more thankful for being on a cruise. If that makes sense. Cruise Hive, by the way, how's the sound and the picture? I just asked a little bit earlier, and a couple of people said it's going great. But I'm just curious. I'm using a microphone. Now, I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but I have a microphone right here that I'm using. Now, this is actually, where is it? Yeah, there you go. It's actually a Rode microphone that I attach on my phone to make the videos. And I'm just using it plugged in off screen here. And I'm just holding it up like I'm talking, but I'm just not holding it in the shot. What I realized was it actually tripod mounts, and my tripod's in my car in the driveway outside, and I wasn't going to go and grab it. So I just wish I didn't have a reflection from my glasses. It's very hard to put my head down like that. It's basically the reflections coming off the screen of the computer. So I wonder how other people do this. They sit on a different angle. Other people are mentioning here. So hopefully going on Vista October 25 for our Halloween cruise. Becky wants to go on a Halloween cruise. You're going to take a costume. They do a costume parade through the promenade deck of the ship. Of course, you guys, I work on Carnival ships. A lot of people they like Royal Caribbean, Holland America, Costa, Celebrity. But for Carnival ships, there's a lot of people who, when they do the Halloween cruise, they do a Halloween parade that night of the Halloween when they do it. And then they'll do a costume competition as well. And they do it like in the main theater where you get up on stage and everybody votes who's the best costume, best couples, best kids. So it's kind of neat. John Nash is saying, what is Zoom? Zoom is, I don't really know what Zoom is, to be very honest. It's a video conferencing application that a lot of businesses are using, and companies and schools and things like that, where you can do basically multi-camera video conferencing. So you could get 5 people to get on their webcams and all be in the same chat, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of a different way to do, but there's a lot of bad press about Zoom right now, that the company is basically holding information of the people logged in, and there's a lot of privacy issues with the Zoom. So Jay Kirkin, says we were supposed to be on the Magic on May 9th. Use the money to pay off our Alaska cruise for May 2021. Hopefully that one won't get canceled. Yeah, I mean, look, next year, I mean, I know now Alaska has a limited season, right? So it's roughly May through September. So let's see how it looks. I know Canada had a lot of issues and basically has canceled wanting ships to call in Canada. And a lot of the ships sail out of Vancouver as part of the itineraries up to Alaska. Some ships are out of Seattle. And then the call, if the ships have to go foreign, if you remember, so from America to Canada or Canada to America is the kind of foreign element of the cruise. So you then go to Victoria, Canada, as part of your Seattle cruises. So that was kind of handy. You got the refund and you changed the cruise and paid off the Alaska cruise. That's kind of worked out really, I guess it's going to work out well. I mean, I've got to be very positive, right? I mean, for me, I love cruising. I love working on ships. I love every aspect of ships. And I could talk about it on here for hours if anybody wanted to. So Becky says there, it'll be our first time on an RC. Can't wait. I guess Royal Caribbean, right? So, yeah, being that I'm on Carnival, a lot of the ports that we go to, we dock with Royal Caribbean ships. I've never worked on Royal Caribbean, but I want to go on one of the bigger ships to see the ice skating rink. And then they've got the what is that, wave pool? They've got the water that rushes over. It looks like a wave. I forgot the name of what that's called, but yeah. Sounds and picture are good, loud and clear. Thanks, Neva. Briu, Neva. How you going, by the way? We have 11 people in the chat. Now, I don't know what the records are, if anyone ever keeps them. And we've got 1 thumbs up. So, 12. There we go. Welcome, whoever's the new arrival in the chat. I hope the notifications come through okay. If you are subscribed, of course, you will get videos coming up in your YouTube feed. And if you click the notification bell, then you'll be notified quicker when videos come up, particularly if I'm doing them like this with a 5-minute spare of the moment. I know, for instance, if I logged into YouTube once a day and I go through my homepage, or when I watch my own video, not my own videos, but videos, I would see basically new uploads. Now, if you guys are aware, I've not done an upload now for more than a week. I've had to sort out a few things in my life, I guess, and I'm going to get to that in a second. I'll get through the comments here a little bit more, and then I'll come back. Rob Rutherford, how are we going, Rob Rutherford? We had a cruise on the Pride in March, and it was cancelled, so I have credit for that. But I have a Christmas cruise booked on Horizon, which was originally our Mardi Gras transatlantic that got cancelled as well. Oh my gosh, Rob, you can't really catch a break, huh? Yeah, Mardi Gras transatlantic. Yeah, so basically the ship is still in the shipyard. I'm sure you're aware of that. Oh, look at, if I do that, there's less reflection, and I'm actually okay leaning forward. Now, the one thing is for this computer that I have a new laptop computer, which I've had for about 2 months now. The webcam is up here, and I have a habit of looking at myself, which is not directly at the camera. So, but I can see the chat nice and easily, so that's kind of good. Yeah, the Mardi Gras is still in Europe being built, and they're, depending on the shipyard, some are working and some aren't, and they're obviously following the social distancing rules. And building ships is not easy to do that because they need a lot of manpower or lady power to build the ships. So there is some slow progress in construction, but it's very difficult for them to bring all the workers to the yards because it's just a lot of people. When I was on the Horizon opening in the shipyard, when we went to, we were in Monfalcone, and we were there was 8,000 shipyard employees at the yard when I was there for that ship launch. They were basically building 5 ships at the same time in different stages. So 8,000 workers. When someone told me that, I knew it was a lot, but 8,000 was just crazy. So yeah, Rob, you've got a bit of a mixed bag of different cruises that you're going on. So yeah, Horizon, I think you'll be happy with the ship. I mean, of course, Mardi Gras, nobody knows what is happening, how it's going to work out date-wise for cruises, and then also all the new features. Everybody's excited to see what the new features are on the Mardi Gras, right? Chris Hive says, sound and picture is fine, but no difference from previous live videos. Okay, so I need to work on the lighting. That's the key, I think. And I need to work on my microphone so that I can get better live volume. Now, the one thing that's probably a problem is the fact that I'm in an empty room and it echoes a whole lot. I don't have like padded walls. This house that I'm in has wood floors, and there's only a small kind of rug in here in this lounge room where I'm using it. So where I'm going to set it up long term, hopefully there'll be less echoing, and then the sound will come across a lot better. Becky says, we are going either Cleopatra. Oh, you don't need to tell us. It's meant to be a surprise. Cleopatra, and my husband is going doing King Tut, or I'm doing Elsa. Oh, Elsa from Frozen. You should do Elsa from Frozen. Cleopatra is kind of cool, and King Tut. Would he go as, is it Olaf? Would your husband go as Olaf, Becky? If you go as Elsa, are you going to do like the couples thing? And I'll go as Elsa for me. Okay, that's my choice. But John says he needs to use Zoom. Yeah, I've not used it. I just keep hearing all negative kind of comments. I listen to Talkback Radio in my car a lot, especially while I've been home now. And there's a lot of bad press about Zoom. Maybe you could look up some news stories about it and the security issues. Becky says, do you think that the health restrictions and new policies like new temperature checks will be permanent changes? Look, personally, I work in the shops on board, by the way. I'm not part of the ship's management or any part of any cruise lines major decision making. I think it'll be interesting if they implement on the last cruise or two before we finished and closed the last cruise on the Dream, for instance. They introduced some restrictions on age, restrictions of how old people were, and then people that were with oxygen, people that had pre-existing medical conditions. I know the last cruise on the Dream was a lot less passengers because a lot of people got turned away. And they were concerned that people may have things, or I guess ailments, that could maybe not cause, but basically coincide with the virus that's happening, right? So I think the cruise lines, I think CDC has already put out some information about what they expect for the future. I mean, possibly in the cruise terminals, they may have some sort of health guidelines that people have got to follow. I know they did have that in the past, and then they relaxed it, and then they brought it back again. I mean, literally, I'm getting a delivery tomorrow to my house, and they called me. Okay, now it's 3 in the morning, by the 4 in the morning, but they called me twice yesterday to ask me about, do I have any health issues? Have I been in contact with anyone who's got any health issues? Do I know anybody that's got health issues? I'm like, I'm just getting something delivered, and you're asking me about that. It's very interesting. I went out to a few different shops yesterday, and we went to IKEA actually, and we were probably 40 minutes in line to get into IKEA. And then we went to a supermarket, and no lines, get in, walk out, no problems at all. We went to a hardware store, and we had to line up to get into a hardware store. And actually, in the hardware store, they had restrictions on how many people could go in the aisles, which I found interesting. I don't know. Some aisles, I guess you've got to stand longer to choose things, and it could get busier if more people go in the same aisles. Yeah. Baker says, do you? So look, the health things, I think they're going to have to basically just create some new procedures. I don't think it's going to hinder getting on the ship time-wise. I mean, while I was on the ship and got off without the guests and things like that, we were doing temperature checks every day. I don't think the cruise line would do that to guests and make you do temperature checks every day in a hallway somewhere. But we have this digital one that they basically put against our forehead and recorded our daily temperatures. Doing that in the terminal wouldn't be difficult, but it's something that they could consider. I think they'll just maybe have question and answers. The problem with the whole thing that's going on, it's the honesty of the people who have conditions, who have illnesses, who have symptoms, and it's up to them to report it, to action it as quick as they know that something's happening to themselves. And that's where the unknown comes in, where people went on the cruises, brought, let's say, the virus on the ships. The virus isn't on the ships and people catch it on the ships. It's brought on the ship by somebody, and then it's transmitted, if you like. So if that makes a little bit of sense. My phone is beeping away. Oh my gosh. Where are we there? Let's see. We'll keep reading through the comments. We use it for training with Carnival BDMs with. I'm not sure what BDMs are. I guess that's sort of meetings of some kind. Yeah, I've not used it, but I'm going to use StreamYard, and I really would love somebody to log into StreamYard when I do my next live stream, and we can then go in a 2-camera kind of chat. It's kind of like a collaboration, if you like. So my church is using Zoom now. Very creative. Yeah, I noticed here in Perth, there's a few different places and companies that are offering live streams, and it's becoming the new thing, right? The new modern thing to do, and especially places like churches that would never have had that in the past, and even zoos. You can watch live streams of the zoo, which they never had before either. So, yeah, they really need to get rid of the Jones Act in the US. No need for it anymore. Yeah, so if anyone's, so that's Jay Kirkin. I guess that's your initials. If anyone's not aware, Jones Act is where the ships that aren't US flagged have to do a foreign port if they're sailing out of a US port. So they can't, for instance, go from Florida to Key West to Orlando, then back to Florida. The ship would have to go foreign, so it would go to the Bahamas, for instance. The Alaska cruises could go from Seattle, would have to go to Canada to Vancouver, or as we talked about, Victoria. So yeah, the Jones Act is a law that makes the ships go foreign because of the flag, or the flag of convenience of the ship. So yeah, look, that's a long-standing law, and I'm not here to I don't know, try to get rid of it, or outlaw a law. I don't know. So Flow Rider, yeah, Wave Runner. It's called Flow Rider. Yes, Becky, the Flow Rider. They've got a Flow Rider in Grand Turk, and I've done it once, and I wasn't very good at it, and I fell off a bunch of times. Sorry if you think I haven't shaved. And I'm not going to shave today either. I've basically decided to go a little bit, I don't know, local for the next few days. I'm going to shave after tomorrow, so I promise. Oh, Des Dodus, it's me. How you going, Des? I'm just reading the comments in order, and we're just chatting generally, so hopefully you'll get some nice information if you want to ask anything, and I can repeat it back. If you do a super chat, it'll be the automatic next question that I answer, but I don't think people are going to do that. So I'm waiting forever to see a super chat, but I don't think I'll ever see one. So I ever wonder. I just, before I came on this live stream, I follow a guy that does computer videos. His name's Linus Tech Tips, LTT, Linus Tech Tips. And he was doing a live stream just now, building a computer. Now he's basically isolating at home. He normally works out of a big office where he does a lot of computer videos and pre-recorded stuff. They rarely do live streams. And he's building a computer on the live stream, and he had 11,000 people in the chat. And the chat was going so fast that you couldn't possibly even read it. It was just insane how quickly people were just typing things. And it just, now here it's going very slow. So 17 people in the chat. This is really cool. 6 thumbs up. Hi, everybody. If you're new, again, I'm just reading through the comments and just chatting about ships and cruise ship life and how everybody's doing. So yeah, it's going a bit faster now. That was quick. Rob says, we are big Carnival fans. Yes, we have been on Horizon. Loved it. What has been your favorite Carnival ship that you have worked on? Look, I was actually on the Horizon 2 contracts. I wonder when you went on there. I did the opening of the ship in Europe. We brought it over from Barcelona, where we started the cruises, over to New York. Then we came down to Miami and did East-West Caribbean cruises. Horizon was an amazing ship, by the way. I did like the Breeze when I didn't open the Breeze, but I worked on the Breeze. For me, one of the important parts about the ship is where I work physically. And I work in the liquor store selling alcohol and tobacco and chocolates. And the bit that's the more important part for me is how nice the shop is, how it's set up, how it operates and how it flows, how is the storerooms. And working so much, you're doing 70, 80, 90 hours a week, and you're in a shop. So you've got to feel comfortable where you work. And I think that's a bigger factor for me now in the last few years than wanting to go on a ship that goes to a certain port. Of course, it's really great to go to all these ports in the world, and then not really like going to work every night when you're at work. So a lot of years ago, I worked on an older Norwegian cruise line ship called Norwegian Crown. I really liked working on that ship, very old ship, if you might Google it later. Very small ship, and everybody was really a family. Everybody was very close because everybody knew each other. The ship has a lot less crew, and it's a big factor when there's going from a ship with like 1,400 people on Carnival Horizon, then you're on a ship with 600 or 700 crew. You're really a little bit closer together and working side by side a lot more. So I really enjoyed working on Norwegian Crown. That was a lot of years ago now, but if that answers your question a little bit. When they sent you home, were you at the end of your contract or at the beginning? Amy asked him, I was actually a month early now. Basically, we're on the 24th of May. I just have to work this out in my head now. I signed on the ship November 4th. So December, January, February, March, April, May the 4th would have been the end of my contract. We're now on the 24th of May. So I roughly came home not quite a month early. At that point, I wasn't actually bothered if I came home or not, or if I had to stay and stick it out like a lot of the crew still are, by the way. I was happy if I went home, if I didn't come home. The only problem with coming home like this is now it's the unknown about when I'll go back and when the ships will start again. Our company and Carnival has given a lot of assurances that as soon as everything gets back to normal, let's say, we'll load up the ships, get all the crew on board and start cruising. Of course, I know that will happen. It's just when. So yeah, I was a little bit earlier than the end of my contract. Now, I'll just tell you a little quick story. There was a dining room waiter, head waiter. His name is Eko, E-K-O. He's from Indonesia. And funny enough, I've known him for quite a few years on the ships. And I've been to Bali where he lives. And I've actually he has a restaurant in Bali that, of course, when he's at home, he works there and runs it. But it's a family business, a family restaurant. And I took my parents there and we had dinner there. I went for lunch when I went. Then I went back with my parents when they were on holiday in Bali together. And he was only on his second cruise on Dream. And then, sorry, my nose has been itchy all day. And he literally got sent home. He went home a few weeks after I left because they basically, still itchy. They arranged some charter flights from where the ships were to Indonesia, Jakarta, Bali, and Manila, Philippines. So yeah, he basically got the bad end of the stick, only been on 2 cruises from vacation, then going back home again. I've chatted to him since he's been home. He's okay. I mean, he's at work, I guess, in the restaurant where he works, or he runs with his family. So, but very tough for those sort of people that have just come from vacation. Most of the time you come back to the ship broke, and you save your money for your contract, and then you go home again and spend it all. So hi, Russell. Just saying hi from Canada and listening in for a bit. Oh, trip reviews. Yeah, no worries. Again, I'm a little bit slow on commenting live, so I don't mind to happily read them while they're not going so crazy and it's too fast to keep up. So hello. Good to see you again, Sean and Casey on vacay mode. Yeah, you guys, so pretty much a lot of people here in the live stream today were in the previous live stream. I did 2. I did one on Facebook and the other one to YouTube. Now, the YouTube ones are a lot easier. I can see the comments easier. I can see who's in the chat, the number of people in the chat. I don't think I can see any other. I can see participants. Yeah, I can do the. Oh, I should have done that, but I didn't. Participants. Let's click that back so I don't lose that. Yeah, so that's fine. Join the beard team. Yeah. It's kind of another funny. I'll always give you a bit of funny facts, but we are football programs in Australia. So we've got rugby league, rugby union, Aussie rules, which is the sport I follow, and soccer. I've actually got a BMX shirt on. My sister's son rides BMX, and I help out at the track. I'm a volunteer at the local track here in Rockingham. I live in Rockingham in Western Australia, which is the state within Australia, if you're not sure of the demographics. And I help out at the local Rockingham BMX club, and that's where I'm wearing that today. But the football is basically shut down. And when you watch the nightly news here, so there's a little sports section, And there's no sport, of course, but they're all speculating when the sport's going to start again, right? When they're going to bring the seasons back. And the CEO of the Aussie Rules, AFL, his name's Gil McLaughlin. And quite often he does the live streams to the TV channels or to the sport talkback shows and things like that. And he's got this rough beard and his hair's all over the place. And when you see him, like normally he's like suit and tie and, you know, holding papers. And it's, I guess that's the kind of whole lockdown and shelter in, you guys are calling it shelter in place in America. When I hear that, I always think of hurricanes and tornadoes. I don't think of this situation when I hear shelter in place. We don't in Australia, depending on the state you're in, they've got different levels of lockdown, if you want to call it that, and isolation. But here in Perth, we've had only one case in the last 4 days in our state. If you want to know that, by the way, we're very following that quite a lot in the radio in the car. So, Jay Kirkin, like James Kirk. Oh, Star Trek fan. Oh, okay. So Captain Kirk, but you're James Kirk. Okay. Let me show you something kind of funny. Now, I was drinking a can of Kirk's. Ooh, let's get that without reflecting. Cola beer. How funny is that, by the way? That's kind of good timing, isn't it? I normally drink a lot of Coca-Cola. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of a Coca-Cola addict. And I ran out of Coca-Cola. And yesterday afternoon on the way home, I went to the supermarket and I bought Kirk's. Now, Kirk's is actually an Australian brand of soda or cool drink. And you guys know cola beer, right? So it's basically an Australian version. So, James, you have your own soda as well at the same time, or we call them cool drinks in Perth, by the way, or Australia. I keep saying sodas a lot because I'm so used to American words. Let's do das. What's up? For me, not a lot. What's up? I'm gonna actually when they get down to the last comment, if you guys keep commenting, of course I'll keep answering, and then I'll give you my little bit of exciting news, if you like. If it's an exciting thing, I don't know. So, hello, we'll be very happy to see you go back to work as we'll go back to cruising. Yeah, right. So I guess, don't really follow me as the truth of what's happening and when and how and what. Of course, the cruise lines are updating everybody. They're not, and it's kind of interesting because I have the website. If you guys have gone to ILikeCruiseShips.com, I don't post every 5 minutes when there's a news story comes out. I'm not as diligent. I'm trying to make YouTube a thing. But of course, while I'm not on a ship, it's very hard to make it a thing, right? I think a lot of people are struggling with YouTube who are used to making travel content and they're not traveling. So this now, actually, we talked about this last time in the live chat. I am trying to do traveling with Russell as a channel. So I don't know if you like that or not, but I guess if you like me, then it's okay. If you don't like how I come across, I guess it makes it kind of tough. So yeah, I guess that's when we're back. We're back when you guys will be back. I guess it'll match up. Greetings. Once you are able to travel around, can you do a video from the Fremantle War Memorial? US Navy subs were also based in Fremantle during World War II. So you know about the Fremantle War Memorial. Now, I'll give you the quick trivia of your question. Today is Friday. Tomorrow we observe Anzac Day, which is kind of a similar holiday in America to 4th of July, I guess. Probably more Veterans Day, I guess you could call it in America. But we celebrate. Now, we don't celebrate. Let me just get this correct. We basically remember. I read somebody's post on Facebook the other day about the differences of how we interpret Anzac Day. Australia and New Zealand Army Corps is the two militaries who basically typically fought together, went to battle together, went in peacekeeping together. So we basically remember the current and past and previous military divisions. Now, with all of these lockdowns and social distancing, they normally have a march. They would normally have what's called a dawn service at 6 a.m. and they'll have a bugle doing what's called the last post. But they've asked us to do a driveway honoring at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So I'm going to try to wake up to do it. I'm going to try and do that. And I'm curious if other people will do it as well. I don't know if you guys have seen in the UK, they're doing this clapping for the healthcare workers or clapping for Boris Johnson. We did not in this suburb, in Rockingham, where I've been living with my parents in Baldivis. They do drinks on the driveway. It's kind of interesting. Take a couple of plastic chairs out of the driveway and have a couple of drinks. So yeah, Fremantle War Memorial. Yes, I know it very well. And actually, the submarine base that we do have is called Garden Island, Purvis. If you maybe want to look that up. The Garden Island is actually just off Rockingham here, where we are. And actually at the beach, if you looked at my beach video that I did in the channel, I pointed it out very briefly. And Garden Island is actually where Australia has a submarine base now currently on the west coast of Australia. And when other navies come over the west coast of Australia, they stop there as well because they don't go to the normal harbors. So yeah, the Fremantle War Memorial, I can try and get down there, absolutely. It's not close to where not close. It's about a 40-minute drive from where I am here, so it's not far away, but it's not close either. So Jen, Amy says, do you know when Jen will be able to join you? Now, you know about my wife, Jen. If you've watched any of my Moscow videos or Bali videos in the channel, let's just press dismiss. I'm getting emails. Her flight now is the 6th of May, which is 2 weeks away. I don't know which day it is 2 weeks ago. I'm not counting it down like she is, by the way. It was originally, oh my gosh, we were doing the 30th of April, 29th or 30th. And then we had problems with the airlines closing down, and then we moved it to the 4th. And then now we've moved to the 6th. Now, the plan is that Russia opens their airports starting on the 1st of May. So if that happens, she'll be on the flight on the 6th. 6th. Oh, I feel like I'm saying it with a lisp. The 6th of May, sorry. I'm just looking at the date on my computer here to know the dates. I do chat to her day and night when she's awake, of course, timing-wise. Yes, so she is coming in a week and a half or 2 weeks. She's super excited, probably more than I am. I'm probably more excited that she can come and cook food and do my laundry. I'm sorry to say it like that, ladies, but and I can do all the other things that I go and do. I don't mind going shopping, going out and grabbing things, lifting and carrying things and doing all of that. And then she's good in the house. And so, yeah, I love the Horizon. I was on its last voyage before all this started, March 7th, 15. The whole world changed while we were on board. Yeah, by the way, I'm in Colorado Springs. Now, I've been to Montrose, by the way, Montrose, Colorado. I was a lot of years ago, before my wife, before everything, a lot of years ago, I was dating a girl that was from Montrose, Tara. And I met her on ships, and she was American, of course. Now, you're probably aware there's not a lot of American employees on cruise ships. That was back when I worked on Norwegian Cruise Line, by the way. I did 4 years working for Norwegian Cruise Line and in the shops there as well. Yeah, so now the shop manager who was on the Dream went to Horizon, Lauren. So I wonder if you guys went in the shops at all, Mike, and met some of the shop staff. But Lauren is very bubbly, and you would not miss her if you're in the shops. She's bouncing off the walls and super, I'm going to say inspiring almost, because she's just got that infectious kind of personality. Memorial Day is when we remember the soldiers who died in battle in the USA. Yeah, so kind of Memorial Day, 4th of July, kind of mix. Anzac Day is a day of remembrance, where actually it's very confused here because we celebrate it. Oh, okay, saying celebrate it on Saturday tomorrow, and it's a public holiday. But a public holiday in Australia has to be a public holiday like Friday or a Monday. So we actually observe Anzac Day on Monday, actually. So we'll have a public holiday on Monday. So it's basically, then we call it a long weekend. So effectively, today's Friday when I eventually wake up and finish the chat here. And then Saturday, everything is closed in Australia. Everything. Might be a petrol station open if you're lucky. There might be garden center open, but nobody has to go to work or open on that day. There's only a few days a year that they do that. Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Anzac Day. I think that's all for Australia, if I'm not wrong. Australia Day, I guess we have that in January 26th. Any upcoming Norwegian cruises booked? Well, I don't work on Norwegian Cruise. I now work on Carnival. I guess maybe Tony are asking other people if they maybe got a cruise booked on Norwegian. Pretty much all cruise lines, I think now, most of them I know today. Let's go back 6 hours on the time it is now. Princess announced they've extended their pause in cruising, and Cunard. So there's 2 cruise lines. Now, the thing is, Carnival Corporation, if you're not aware, they have over 100 ships in their fleet of ships, or armada, I don't know, fleet of ships. But each cruise line operates very independently from each other. So one cruise line can have a lockdown, I guess, till a certain date, another one till another date, another to another date, based on operational needs, is what they're saying. So Mike says she remembers, you remember Lauren, you remember her. Very nice and friendly. Yeah, basically probably in the jewelry store. She'd actually come over and work in the liquor store as well. You know, the Horizon, of course, the shops are on 2 levels. So the liquor store's down on deck 4. I would probably say Breeze was always my favorite shop in terms of the liquor store to work in. Horizon was the first, okay, Vista was the first, but where they separated the shops over 2 levels. And we loved working in that liquor store because there was no managers in there a lot, because the manager's office is up on deck 5, and we're in deck 4. So it's we kind of like the fact that there was 2 of us in that shop on the Horizon. And then they had an Invicta watch store as well. I don't know if you noticed that next to the liquor store on Horizon. Is Kirk's a mix of cola and beer or no alcohol? Yeah, it's very much like root beer. Yes, cola beer is like root beer. This is actually empty, by the way. So, yeah, I just fancied a bit of a change. No artificial colors or flavors. There ain't. What's it? This ain't just any kind of drink. This is Kirk's cola beer. Some say it was created by a genius of taste, especially for the people of WA. Others say it was just a happy accident. Yeah, so it's a West Australian company, not Australian company even. That's kind of cool. Manufactured and sold by Coca-Cola Amatil. Made in New South Wales. It's made over in Sydney for a West Australian company. That's funny, isn't it? Yeah, when you read the packaging later, you're all excited about it being a local product. And it's made by Coca-Cola over at the factory. They do have a Coca-Cola factory here in Perth, but they probably maybe make some in Sydney, some in Melbourne, some in Perth. Been a pleasure, Russell, but I have to run. Cheers. Trip reviews, no worries. Maybe you're going to review a trip, I wonder. If anyone has any ideas about how I can make some more videos. If not, I can keep doing live videos like this. The one thing I was thinking about doing was a news style video, not necessarily live like this, but where I'd actually read the current news headlines and maybe do a 5-minute news bulletin style thing. You maybe think that might be a good idea. I'm not sure. 16 people in the chat, by the way. Just thought I'd point that out. I'm just going to click over to Facebook because my messages are going crazy. So I need to read that in a little while, but I don't have time now. I wonder if you guys. So the I Like Cruise Ships. I have the Facebook page, the website ILikeCruiseShips.com, and then of course YouTube. Do you guys have a favorite social media medium? I was doing YouTube. I was doing Facebook a lot, especially while I was before I started making videos last year, and that was very easy for me to post pictures and then put sort of a little bit of a news story about it, or current where I was, maybe where I was sailing to, and then YouTube just became an easy thing to do. Now you guys can't hear this because it's outside, and it's 4:35 in the morning. All the parrots are coming. I've got some huge trees outside this house, and all the parrots are just waking up. We won't hear them at all, unfortunately, because they're just not. The windows and the curtains on the windows here block out the volume a lot. But I can just start hearing them now. Magically, they all just wake up at the same time. And 4:30, they're like roosters, you know. These we have a lot of native parrots, of course, Australia has, but in these, I've got huge trees right outside the front and back garden of this house here. So, love your detailed videos on what to do at popular ports. Thanks, Tony. My dad's name's Tony, by the way. He goes by Anthony. I wonder if he might watch this video. I won't be watching it now. I'll be sleeping, but he might watch it later. Thank you. Yeah, that's one thing that I do realize that I make longer videos. They tell you in terms of YouTube, by the way, if anyone's interested, that the sweet spot is about 10 or 11 minutes where people start getting bored or lose interest. Or I know for me personally as well, when I watch YouTube videos a lot right now, if it's something I really like, I can just sit and watch the whole video from the start to the end. And I like to watch their next video and their next video. And you're kind of following along with what they're doing. I'm watching a couple of Lego YouTube channels at the moment where they do Lego reselling, and they buy the boxes from the stores like Walmart and Target, and then they actually piece out the parts individually and sell every part of a Lego set individually for a price, for a profit, of course. And then they sell the little mini figures, and then the one guy there buys bags of secondhand Lego and puts all the parts together, and then buys another bag from mostly from eBay, bulk lots of Lego, and that's what I'm watching a lot of videos, and I can watch them from start to end because it's just very interesting, the business side of the guys selling Lego and the storage and all the drawers they've got to keep all the individual pieces in. I'm trying to think of some sort of a business plan for me, and I don't know if I could have all the containers of Lego ever in the house. The couple that I watched, they mostly got them in their basements in America. We don't have basements in Perth, by the way. We wouldn't do that, I don't think. Yeah, love you. Okay, so Mike says, my wife likes cola and beer mix. This is a German thing. She liked it over there. I didn't know about cola and beer. I know cola and ice cream. That's a thing, cola and ice cream. Actually, beer and lemonade is a big thing in England. It's called a shandy. So if you mix beer with lemonade, it basically makes a light beer or a fizzy beer. But beer and cola, I guess that's like you say, it's a German thing. So Tommy Fourfingers, I know you're in the last live stream. I remember a lot of people's names here, and I see a few new names. So yeah, welcome if you're new. That would be cool. A type of my take on things. Yeah, kind of a news bulletin. But I don't know if it would be okay if I'm looking down reading the news story. I could probably read the headline of make maybe like notes. I don't make notes when I do this, by the way. I just do everything right off the top of my head. And I could maybe do like 5 news stories and just what I think of it and what I don't think of it and things like that. Yeah, that's something I would like to do, especially because I know I can do it from the house here. Amy says she's only on Facebook. Yeah, so I was doing Facebook for a long time. Then I moved over to kind of YouTube. And now while I'm home, I'm doing kind of all three. I'm doing the website. Facebook, I don't probably post enough about me on Facebook. And I know that's what it's more about. For my wife and I, for our visa and for her permanent residency, we're trying to make a thing of doing a lot of check-ins on Facebook, so we can create the evidence of where we were and what we were doing that day and time. When we did her original application, I went back over we were together 6 years, 7 years now, 6 years. And I went back over both of our Facebooks and connected basically all the places that we were together, which we hadn't done. She's not big on she does Instagram. She likes to do Instagram. So yeah, Target puts them on super sale every now and then, very cheap, like 80% off. That's super profitable on a small level. Yeah, so the whole thing with the Lego, so you basically, I'm not going to over promote other brands and things like that, but the website they're using is called Bricklink, and it's basically a database website where you can put the model number of the box that you've bought, and then it will basically itemize in an inventory every piece out of that box, and it creates a price to resell every individual piece. So you can actually go onto that website and buy one piece of Lego or 12 pieces of Lego, and you can buy the exact piece that you're missing if you were to build a set or something like that, or whatever you do. So in Australia, I kind of looked at it here at the stores. We have Kmart here, Target. You guys call it Target? We call it Target. Target. And just the prices aren't cheap enough in Australia compared to America cheap, where Walmart is cheap, Target is cheap, where they have clearance. And the one thing that we are very hindered on here as well is the mail and postage and the fixed rates for posting. Like in America, the cost of sending a package or a bag or a small parcel is very cheap compared to what Australia is. So eBaying and things like that is not as lucrative because the cost of shipping adds to the price of things, and a lot of people don't want to pay that part about it. And that's why, foolishly, in Australia, it's sometimes cheaper to buy things out of country and have them shipped to Australia, like from America, from China, from wherever, cheaper than we can buy it online locally. Wow, that's a bit of a name. I love the videos, especially your walkthroughs on ports and best places to go. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Yes, I like to do the port of call videos. I like to do the ones right in the cruise terminals too. They're kind of fun, especially knowing I've walked through them 5 million times. They do become more detailed when I do them because I point out very specific things. I did the ones in Jamaica as well, at the terminal in Jamaica. Grand Turk. I don't know if you guys know, I'm going to say it's probably more than 10 or 11 years ago now. I worked in Grand Turk for 1 year. That was well before YouTube was around then. If I would have done YouTube then, I'd be making all sorts of videos. It's really weird, isn't it, in hindsight, if we'd have thought of doing things before we're doing them now. You know, the light's going all crazy when I go forward and back there, sorry. How I could have done YouTube 10 years ago. I could have done Facebook 5 years ago, and I didn't, and things like that, you know. So, oh, great. Now I can nerd out on Lego even more thoroughly. Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, I don't know the exact names. A brick in the wall. There's all sorts of brick puns that they've got their YouTube channels, but maybe you can go to Lego Parting Out in the description in YouTube. There's one called Brick Czar, Tsar, Brick Czar. And they don't have huge followings on their channels, but people who really want to watch specific videos about it, but where you can watch one channel and, you know, where they do maybe a weekly update of what they've sold. Even they buy Lego themselves, of course, they're collectors. They do little videos where they go to the store and point out the price on the shelves, and some of them are into kind of building Lego and displaying them and things like that. And then some people are just purely buying them and selling them. Do you know Adam Savage from Mythbusters? He has a YouTube channel called Tested. And he quite often does live builds of Lego in his channel. And a lot of people make fun of him because he's very, let's say, nerdy or geeky about how he opens the box, he puts all the parts on the desk in order, and then he starts building it. Doesn't just pile it up in a big pile of Lego and they're digging through. But he loves building Lego models, and he makes YouTube video models of people building a specific Lego model. I mean, it's very cool, isn't it, how you think about all these different channels and the ideas that people come up with. I mean, I could make a 10-minute video about Kirk's soft drink and, you know, talking about the flavor and the color of the can. And I could do that on 20 different sodas or cool drinks. And if it's searchable on YouTube and somebody wants to watch it, then it's interesting, right? So where are we at there? Felix is easier to say than my screen name. Okay, Felix, sorry. I was looking again at your name there. It's all mixed around. Is that a dog in your... The icons are very small there. Is that a dog in your icon box there? I can't see that. I'm not sure. And I know basically where people like Amy there doesn't have a little picture. You need to set up your picture in your box there. That's on your Google account. And I imagine, Tommy, that maybe that's the... is it the Warriors? The basketball team is your logo right there, I think. Is that right? I'm looking very closely here. Sorry. Much appreciated info. Thanks a ton, Savage. Yes, gonna follow him. I love him. Yet his YouTube channel is called Tested. You've obviously got to like Mythbusters and like Adam Savage and who he is and how he comes across, because he's now kind of a one-man TV show. He obviously has people editing and filming the videos, but he's very detailed in everything he does. He does these one-day builds, but he does it in his bunker, I think he calls it, right? His workshop, his bunker. Is it his workshop? I'm not sure. So yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, Mythbusters I used to watch a lot. I still watch some replays. You can even watch them on YouTube, replays. And Grant Imahara. I love Grant. I watched a video on YouTube about him, about his history before him being on Mythbusters, and he was working for ILM, which is George Lucas's studios, and he worked on the robots for Star Wars, the C-3PO. He did some of the upgrades to the later models in the later Star Wars movies, and he's like one of the great, well, let's say great modelers and robotics builders in his time, I guess, you know, in terms of his field. So my logo is a disc, golf disc. Innova Champion Discs is a company logo. All right, you do disc. You know, I've heard about disc golf. I like watching golf on TV, but I can't play it. I've tried even practicing on the football field when I was younger, and I couldn't possibly hit the golf ball. But yeah, disc golf is really cool. It's like in America, it's a thing, right? In Australia, it's not. I know they do have some places that you can do it here, so like casually or socially. But disc golf, that's kind of cool that you're into that, or that's what you do. So thank you so much for your detailed videos from the horizon. They really helped us out ahead of our cruise. It's also how I came to know you and your channel. Oh, Mike, thanks. Yeah, look, probably in my infancy of making a lot of videos, they're probably not great. I'm getting better at still using my phone to make videos. I'm not turning professional or anything like that, but I wish I made more. I made a lot of cabin videos. If you maybe watch some of the cabin walkarouts, excuse me. There's actually one or two that I made with a friend's cell phone. And one of the rules of YouTube is horizontal videos. And obviously, naturally, when we hold our phone, we want to do vertical videos, right? And that's one of the rules of YouTube, is do horizontal videos. Yeah. Oh, we're down to the last question here. So hope you guys are enjoying the chat. Do you guys want to chat a bit longer? We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes. We've got 11 viewers, 13 thumbs up. I like how there's more thumbs up than people. That's always good. So I know I'm doing the right thing. What I can do is we could end the chat slowly here, slowly. And I'm going to tell you the last news. Now, the exciting thing is, which you can't see, the reason why there's lights here as well is today in the morning, it's now nearly 5, at 8:30 this morning, I'm picking up keys to an apartment that I'm going to be renting. I'm going to move out of this house. This was actually my quarantine house, I guess I'm going to call it, where I basically didn't have the plan to be here. And I'm going to short-term rent an apartment. Actually, I could pretty much walk from here. It's very close to the beach. It's 1 street from the beach. I'm about 4 streets from the beach here, by the way. And that's my exciting news. I signed a lease now 3 or 4 days ago. You don't really sign them anyway. It's all electronic, right? We did a walkthrough of the apartment. It's on the first level. It's got a balcony. It's really nice. It's a small 2-bedroom place. But when my wife comes, where there's a park right across the street, we can walk to lots of little cafes and bars that are all closed. So yeah, essentially, you can't see. Can you see? Well, let me point this way. That thing right there. If I turn my camera slightly, this is going to be a bit crazy. I don't like to do this. You'll see over here all of the things kind of gathered together for me to have my parents come and help me out moving today. I'm going to go pick up the keys. We're at 5 a.m. At 8:30 a.m., I'm going to the, I was going to say travel agent. Sorry. Just force a habit, right? Real estate agent, and pick up the keys to my apartment. And I'm going to be moving there, I don't know how long. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, as long as this is all going to take. And that's my exciting news, by the way. So yeah, I'm not going to film my moving in. I really should be vlogging or blogging everything that I do. The one thing that's very tough is I obviously came back from America on this house. This is partly furnished. I have no furniture. So tomorrow I'm getting a fridge delivered, TV delivered. We're going to go pick up a sofa, or like one of these sofas, couches. And then we're going to drive up to IKEA and buy a bed. I went today to IKEA. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. And we thought we could buy it yesterday and then have it not delivered, but all collected. Click and collect. But they don't allow you to do it on a different day. You've got to do it the same day. So we're going to go back up there today and pick up the bed. And it won't get built tonight. I'm going to sleep on the actual sofa. Is a sofa bed that I'm getting. And I'm going to use that, I think, for tonight, because I think there'll be too much to do today. So I basically gathered everything in this house now to take over to the other place. And yeah, it's kind of exciting. Well, exciting for the fact that I'll be closer to the beach, and the fact it's a smaller house. This is a 3-bedroom house with a front garden, back garden, garage. I've got to open a gate to get in and out of the house every day. And of course, while I'm here alone without my wife, it's just way too big for what I need here. So it's done the purpose of these first few weeks when I came home. But it's just a big empty house. It's just not a home, is what I'm going to call it. So, oh man, no judgment in disc golf. It is a worldwide and currently the fastest growing sport. USA, Europe, Japan, and Thailand are the largest at the moment. Yeah, I no judgment. Sorry, I don't know lots about it. I've seen it briefly on TV, and that's about it. I know you throw the disc into these like metal. It looks like a basketball net with chains. I know that. I have seen it, so I know all about it. There is obviously a massive amount of skill involved in disc golf. I know that for sure. And basically, you're kind of half golfer, half athlete, or probably all athlete. So yeah. Mike says, congrats on the new place to live. Looking forward to seeing you there and seeing your wife perhaps as well. Yeah, I wanted to be on a video. I wanted to do her Russian videos and make a channel for her, but she's not interested at all. If you watch some of the Bali videos or we went to Gili Air. you'll see that she's not always like in good moods when I'm filming with her walking with me. It's quite funny. So I wish we could kind of do like a thing on the camera together more, but don't forget the PlayStation 4. I don't have a PlayStation 4. I don't have any gaming consoles at all, by the way. The TV is 65-inch television. It's a big Sony TV. We weren't able to get it in the car, so we had to get it delivered. They called up yesterday. I was actually at the supermarket buying the soda, and they called up saying it's coming between. Okay, so we got the bed. What's coming? The TV is coming between. What did they tell me? 12 and 2, and then the fridge is coming between 1 and 3. They gave us these 2-hour time windows. I bought them both at the same place, but they're not delivering them at the same time, which is crazy. We don't understand. So Neva says, congrats on the new apartment. Yes. I mean, I am renting. I didn't buy it, by the way. It's not my place. But I just feel like it'll be more home. It'll be a little bit smaller and not maybe feel like the cruise ship, but in Moscow, Russia, with my wife in the last few years, I've been living there with her, and I've kind of grown accustomed to living in an apartment, more so than a house, and having a garden and having grass. I mean, I know that's the great Australian dream. We call it the great Australian dream, to have the house, 2.4 kids, barbecue, patio out the back, swimming pool. It's just not my short-term dream, I guess you could say. So that's my exciting news. So yeah, we're going to do a bit of a what do you call it? A flotilla of cars, like a caravan of cars. I'm going to drive back to my parents. I'm going to go pick up the keys at 8:30. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And then I'm going to go to my parents and meet my sister's son, who's got a small truck or a utility or truck, I guess you'll call it in America. We call them utes in Australia, a ute. It's a utility truck. And then we're going to go to drive to IKEA and pick up the bed. And in the meantime, my mum and dad are going to drive my car and their car and take all my stuff back and forward to the house. And I'll leave them the keys and meet them there later. So yeah. Yep, yeah, you got it exactly like golf, but your arm is the club. I'm very excited you're getting to call the place home soon. I hope you hibernate well. Yeah, I kind of realized I'm not going back to the ships in the next week or two and things like that. And of course, if you're aware, a lot of the cruise ships have left the US as well. There's no ships in Australian waters now. The Ruby Princess left yesterday, and they're all heading to Asia to take the crew members home. Some ships are going to Europe, South Africa, the Caribbean. So if you're aware, if anybody does follow ships very closely, they'll know that a lot of the ships are heading to Asia to take a lot of the Indonesian, Filipino crew members home. Disc golf is big here in Colorado. There is a new course right down the street from my home. So what is it, like a disc golf specific course, or is it like a golf course that they've converted? I'm kind of curious now. I think the ones in Perth here are basically, I'm pretty sure they're normal golf courses that they've got the disc, I don't know, ending. You call them holes in disc golf. It's kind of, there's a whole topic about this, right? Chris Hyde is asking, what model is the TV, the Sony TV? Love new tech. I don't know. It's 65-inch. It was on special. It was a lot of money compared to what I really walked in wanting to pay. And we're going to have to carry it up the first flight of stairs to the apartment. Chris Hive, I'll have to get back to you. I don't know. I don't have the paper right in front of me to check which model it is. It's not the whiz-bang top of the range $10,000 model for sure. It's more reasonably priced. I had to sort of set a budget buying a fridge, a TV, a sofa, a bed, things for the kitchen. Yeah, so I had to sort of set a bit of a, budget of what I needed initially just to move in. So Tommy says, I played a few courses in Colorado, beautiful scenery there. As soon as we can travel, me and my family are coming back to look for waterfalls. Oh, yeah, I think I watched a a webinar yesterday about travel and obviously the downturn in travel and what's going to happen going forward with people not traveling internationally, people doing what they call staycations, right? So maybe taking a cruise, of course, but maybe taking a cruise closer to home, not flying to Europe to take a cruise, maybe, let's say, not going to Alaska or not going to Australia from America and cruising long distances, because a lot of people want to travel closer to where they live. So yeah, this staycation thing is will become a thing. Some bowl golf courses are merged for both, but most are disc golf specific. Wow, that's interesting that there's enough sport. I mean, what's important too is when you look at this is the demographic or the age. I'm going to say probably disc golfers are younger than traditional golfer is. Of course, there is young and up-and-coming golfers, there's no question, but golf in our heads is an older person's sport. I mean, I'm old, by the way. I wouldn't say I'm young. So it's created strictly for good disc golf. There you go. Yeah, I guess it's, I mean, I played tennis a lot when I was younger. That was my thing. I played at a grass court tennis club here in, not in Rockingham, but in Fremantle. Probably our most famous West Australian tennis player is a guy called Matt Ebden, who's actually from Rockingham, funny enough. So he plays very close by where I'm living here. Did you know Colin, the brewer on board the Horizon? I was in touch with him before our cruise, but he moved to the Horizon. Robert is the brewer on Horizon now. Yeah, I do know Colin Prebsey. That's his last name, Colin Prebsey. Yeah, he's actually part of the bar department, and he would quite often come in the liquor store and look at some of our things that we sell. He works a lot, by the way, and he's working in that brewery as the brewmaster. He's very detailed in what he does. He's so knowledgeable, it's almost scary. He's so engaging with people that he has a passion for it. I think whoever is the brewmaster on the ships, you've got to find that right person that just loves brewing beer, loves drinking, loves the whole making beer on a cruise ship, wherever it is in the world. Yeah, so there's only, I guess, Panorama, Horizon. Yeah, I think he went to Panorama, right? That's why he left Horizon to go there. And I know when I spoke to him, they were having problems finding candidates who are willing and able and, can work completely unsupervised making beer because all the crew members didn't know what to do, right? So, yeah, I do know him as a Facebook friend and as a person that I worked on ships with. I'll tell you my little tiny story about Colin. We were in Europe on the ship and we were going in Naples, and literally down the road from where the ship's dock in Naples is this beautiful, beautiful 2-story supermarket, and if you're used to all of the European foods and cheeses and hams and Italian pastas, they have on the second level of the supermarket this amazing beer and wine shop and alcohol shop, like a normal liquor store would be. And I was in there looking at all the rums. I like to go look at all the rums that are for sale around the world. And, the fact that I'm in Italy and there's Caribbean rums we can't get on the ship in the Caribbean. And who did I see there looking at beers was Colin. He was buying he had a basket of different microbrews and different European beers that he wanted to taste himself. And I think he's got a real passion to wanting to make different home brews and stuff like that. And yeah, then it's just funny that the chance of me bumping to another crew member at that supermarket, at that liquor section on that day was just millions to one. And there he was. So, yeah. All right, everybody. We're at an hour and 20. We went a little bit more than the hour that I was hoping to do. I really hope you've liked this live stream, question and answer. Thanks, everybody, for the thumbs up. Thanks for all the comments. If you want to put any more comments in the video after the chat's finished. I hope you've enjoyed the question and answer. And in the coming days, particularly after tomorrow and the next day, I'm going to get the computer set up and the desk set up. I do have a desk. It's over here. It doesn't look like a desk right now. And this lamp actually is going to somehow become a light for me to do the videos a lot better. Am I missing chat? No. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to do some, I'm going to get back to filming videos outside. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do a walk to the beach video. Purvis mentioned for me to go to the War Memorial in Fremantle. So I'll see what I can do filming wise. Again, these lives are a lot easier because I'm obviously here and I can be literally live with you guys. I don't have anything to like demonstrate or show you. I'll have to do that for next time, but Kirk was here, so that was kind of handy. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off from here. I'm going to switch hands so I can get the mouse because I always don't like to just close you guys off. Tommy, Mike, Cruise Hive, you were there earlier. Neva, Pamela, I don't remember everybody's names. Hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream. Let me scroll down there. Mike says, thanks. See you next time. Any way of knowing when you go live ahead of time? I need to plan that out a lot better, don't I? The thing is, I'm trying to basically catch the US daytime. I guess maybe 7, 8, 9 p.m. in the US. I know it's about 5 now, I think, right? Or 4, 5. It's trying to find that sweet spot of good timing where people are able to watch the live stream. Belinda said, oh, Belinda, how are you going? I know you've been in the live streams before. I'm just about to sign off. So you'll have to maybe watch the replay somehow. I don't know how, later. It'll come back offline, right, soon. Yeah, I want to try to maybe do roughly this time. It's 5 a.m. here. Maybe 7, 8 a.m., which will be a couple of hours later for US time. I'll try to maybe give at least a day's notice for the next one so we can get a bit of remembering going on. So, all right, Mike, Belinda, Tommy, whoever's still in the chat, thanks for watching. Thanks. Now I'm going to go over to this side so we can make the thumbnail. Sorry, that's funny. 4 p.m. in Texas. Yes, it's perfect time. If everybody was not working, everyone was home. There's no perfect time where everybody's home, right? And everybody's not at work and doing things. So yeah, so 5 a.m. here. 3.5 hours from now, I'm going to go down to the, let's say, travel agent, a real estate agent, get the keys for my apartment. And we're going to move in today through the course of the day. And then by tonight, I'm going to be completely exhausted and fall asleep in a heap and not know what the heck I'm doing. And wake up and be at 1 street from the beach tomorrow night, well, the next day. So yeah, stay tuned for a video. I might do a moving in video in some kind, some form, but I don't know exactly. So let's see how that goes. Thanks for watching I Like Cruise Ships, the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, click subscribe. Click the notification bell so you'll get a little bit of a heads up of a live stream when they go a little bit unannounced like this. And watch some other videos and maybe post this to your friends. Maybe these ones not, but maybe if you're in a cruise group and you like some of the channel videos about the ports of call, put them in a cruise group. Why not? Thanks, everybody, and catch you later. I'm going to click end stream. Okay, bye, everybody. Bye.